Thank you, Pradeep. And hello on behalf of everyone at B-Terrell Group. Thank you to Joe Arnone, to BB, to Sarah, and all the folks at Bass for the opportunity to be with you today at Bass Connect. My name is Brian Terrell, and I'm the managing partner at B-Terrell Group. B-Terrell Group is a Sage Intacct marketplace partner with products designed to enhance and expand the value proposition offered by Sage Intacct to end users. The purpose of my time with you today is to introduce B-Terrell's Sage Intacct marketplace partner products, explain the value proposition of each, and support my friends at Bass in their delivery of world-class financial management applications to mid-market companies. B-Terrell publishes two Sage Intacct marketplace partner products. These include B-Terrell Smart EFT and B-Terrell Smart Billable Expenses. Since 2013, B-Terrell has published both of these products, and hundreds of Sage Intacct users around the world use these products every day. As one of the oldest Sage Intacct marketplace partner publishers, B-Terrell has over 10 years of experience helping our customers digitize their business payments using B-Terrell Smart EFT and automate their business expense reimbursements through B-Terrell Smart Billable Expenses. Let's spend the next 20 minutes or so discussing these two products, starting with B-Terrell Smart EFT. Every year, Payments Canada publishes their annual Canadian Payment Methods and Trends report, and the 2023 version, this year's version of that report, was released just last month in October and is entitled "The Future of Digital Payments is Here." This document reports that paper checks now account for a small fraction of total payment volume that continues to decline. In fact, check volume has decreased 45% over the last 5 years and now accounts for only 2% of total payment volume. On the other hand, electronic funds transfer volume, or the number of EFT payments made, grew by 13% over that same 5 years and now represents 15% of transaction payment volume. It's true that business payments made by paper check are quickly becoming a thing of the past, and we all have to decide whether we want to make the switch to digital payments at our companies. If so, there are several issues with which we must contend. Let's discuss those now. In North America today, some businesses resist the move from the paper check writing process to electronic funds transfer for three main reasons. First, automating paper check payments with EFT requires a process and culture change. Decision makers have, for years and years, been relying on paper checks. They don't even have to think twice about it. Once a business leader using Sage Intacct commits to the electronic payment culture change, he or she must configure Sage Intacct to create and securely transmit electronic payment instructions to their bank, sometimes for both domestic and non-domestic payments. And they don't teach us how to set this up at university, nor is the process as standardized as we would all hope. In addition to the process and culture changes required by a switch to EFT, decision makers must identify and satisfy the security concerns unique to any payment processing method. All payment methods come with their own unique security concerns, And EFT is not different in this respect. And finally, we must have an affordable option for making these process, these culture, and these security changes, transacting these payments electronically and reconciling the results against our books. Out of the box, Sage Intacct has good EFT functionality, but there are some issues. Let's discuss the issues with Sage Intacct's native EFT functionality. As we see it, there are 3 areas needing improvement. To begin with, Sage Intacct lacks support for worldwide financial institutions. Every country has their own spec, and Sage Intacct supports those specs in variable ways. In Canada, for instance, Sage Intacct does not currently support the Canadian Financial Institution support or format for EFT. In the United States, it's mostly supported for what we would call ACH, but for that certain subset of U.S. financial institutions requiring a balanced ACH file, there is no support internationally. Support for most payments in the Eurozone or the European Union and in Australia currently exists, but there's not complete support for all their transactions, such as the SEPA standard in the UK and the BPay standard in Australia. Beyond the United States, beyond the European Union, beyond Australia, there's virtually no support out of the box with Sage Intacct for EFT. Beyond this, Sage Intacct is inflexible on the format of the remittance advice, which is usually an electronic mail message sent to payees with the payment amount and payment application instructions included therein. In other words, Sage Intacct does not allow for a customer to tailor that email remittance advice to their exact needs. Beyond these 2 areas needing improvement, Sage Intacct lacks the ability to automate the transmission of an electronic funds transfer instruction file from Sage Intacct directly to that financial institution. This means an accounting back office employee must upload the EFT file or set of instructions to the company's bank's online banking portal. This EFT set of instructions is usually contained within a text file with all the payment instructions included within it. And I know your mind immediately recognizes the insecurity that comes along with the handling of unencrypted payment transaction files. BTerl Smart EFT is the preferred alternative to the native Sage Intacct EFT function and solves all of these changes. BTerl Smart EFT supports EFT payments through any financial institution in the world. In other words, we can prepare EFT transaction instruction files for any bank anywhere in the world, including Canada. BTerl Smart EFT supports all Sage Intacct payment transaction types, such as accounts payable payments, employee expense reimbursements, and accounts receivable direct debits from a customer's account. BTerl Smart EFT supports all electronic payment types. Not only the typical North American, EU, and Australian payment types, but also that hard to support United States balanced ACH format, that EU SEPA format, that Australian BPay format. Beyond that, we support legacy electronic payment channels like domestic and international wire transfers and payments through any financial institution and in any currency. BTerl Smart EFT transfers EFT files to participating financial institutions via the secure file transfer protocol, removing the security concerns associated with the human handling of text-based EFT payment instructions. And BTerl Smart EFT allows Sage Intacct customers to design and adjust payment remittance advice formatting to meet their exact requirements. And of course, BTERL Smart EFT conforms with all international data security guidelines. BTERL Smart EFT adds all of this additional payment functionality, but leaves existing Sage Intacct EFT functionality in place, providing Sage Intacct customers the best of both worlds if that's what they desire. Because BTERL Smart EFT has been developed using Sage Intacct native technology, it provides a familiar end user experience for Sage Intacct end users, the same look and feel. End users complete the entire payment process from beginning to end without leaving the Sage Intacct desktop. It conforms to Sage Intacct user and role-based security architecture, includes built-in payment approval workflow, and simplifies the payment process, popular in today's work from home culture. To make a paper check payment today from my home using Sage Intacct, I have to have a printer. I have to have check stock. I have to have micro toner. I have to find an approver to approve my payment. I have to have a signer to sign my paper check. I have to find an envelope to place my paper check in, and I have to find a stamp to affix to that envelope, and then I have to find a post office box to drop that envelope in. BTERL Smart EFT removes or automates all of these requirements. When we say that we support the origination of electronic funds transfers through any financial institution in the world, we mean we've never encountered a bank we could not support, or non-bank for that matter. We work with banks around the world to conform with the specifications they publish, including the automation of the transfer of the electronic file via SFTP if a Sage Intacct end user's financial institution supports that protocol. Here are some of the worldwide banks with whom BTERL Smart EFT works today by making electronic payments directly from Sage Intacct. You'll notice the familiar logos of Canadian banks. I mean, we never met a bank we couldn't support. We also support banks in Asia and all through the European Union, sending not only that hard to support balanced ACH file in the United States, but also wire transfers or SEPA payments in the Eurozone, BPay payments in Australia, and paper checks. Actually, we can instruct the bank to write a paper check on your behalf if in fact that's the transaction format that you want to initiate directly from Sage Intacct. We also support United States banks that require a balanced ACH file. In summary, BTERL Smart EFT can create an EFT file for any financial institution in the world and transfer that file automatically to the financial institution, thereby improving internal control. I've recorded a video demonstration of the BTERL Smart EFT process in less than 3 minutes, and you can access that with your browser using the URL listed at the top of this slide. Now that URL is case sensitive, so if you're writing that down or getting this set of slides after today's presentation, you'll want to remember that. In addition, I've added a URL below that that allows you to access a second link for additional information on BTERL Smart EFT. Thanks for letting me deliver this quick introduction of BTERL Smart EFT. Let's take a look now at BTERL Smart Billable Expenses. BTerl developed BTerl Smart Billable Expenses to automate business-to-business expense reimbursements, invoicing business customers for business expenses is also available within Sage Intacct. However, it requires project costing and billing, and that's an additional expense many Sage Intacct client companies do not otherwise require. BTerl Smart Billable Expenses provides this capability by allowing an end user to tag an expense as reimbursable or billable at the point of entry in accounts payable, in purchase order, in employee expense module, at the general ledger on a line in a journal entry, or even through the credit card transaction entry form. As that expense is posted within that expense entry form, an AP bill, a purchase order invoice, an employee expense report, a general ledger journal entry, an accounts receivable invoice is simultaneously and automatically posted to a designated customer's account. It's great for all firms who need to recapture expenses from customers without having to double entry or double enter that transaction. To make it even more clear, let's take a look at an actual program screenshot. The first thing that you'll notice is this is the standard AP bill entry form. We don't require that you do any of this work outside or any work outside of the Sage Intacct desktop for any of our BTerl Sage Intacct Marketplace partner products, including BTerl Smart Billable Expenses. We keep the user experience the same. And here you can see that BTerl Smart Billable Expenses adds 2 columns, the Bill To column and a corresponding customer column, all on the line level, so that a portion of a bill, certain lines can be designated as billable, whereas other lines can be left as undesignated as billable. And in each column, you'll notice that there's a checkbox within the customer Bill To column and a drop-down selection box on the customer in the customer column. That's all there is to it. When this bill is posted, an accounts receivable invoice in the amount of $99 in this example will automatically be posted to customer 111's account, ready to be emailed directly to that customer or mailed to their accounts payable department. It's very simple, it's very easy, and it's very effective in removing all of the effort and all of the accuracy issues that are normally created when one transaction must be entered twice. BTerl Smart Billable Expenses takes the effort out of invoicing clients for expenses they've agreed to reimburse. Many professional service customers commit to reimbursing their professional service providers for travel expenses, for office expenses, or for other miscellaneous expenses. BTerl Smart Billable Expenses automatically creates an AR invoice based on the tagging of an expense transaction line as reimbursable. We just saw that in the preceding screen. It eliminates the time and inaccuracies of double entry. It doesn't change the look and feel of the Sage Intacct desktop, nor does it require a change in the AP bill or AR invoice entry process. But it does provide peace of mind by reducing the chances for revenue leakage that can come by forcing your back office to remember to bill out reimbursable expenses. Thank you for allowing me to introduce both BTerl Smart Billable Expenses and BTerl Smart EFT. These are the BTerl Sage Intacct Marketplace partner products. When you partner with BASS and by extension BTerl, We bring 33 years of experience solving mid-market accounting and finance automation challenges. We work hand in hand with BAS professionals to manage the configuration of BTerral Smart EFT and BTerral Smart Billable Expenses. We support the installation of our products in your sandbox environments for internal training and testing purposes. And then we continue to support BAS and you in the ongoing use of our Sage Intacct Marketplace partner products. I encourage you to reach out to Joe and the team at BAS to schedule a discovery call where we'll learn more about your requirements. We'll show you the end-to-end workflow for both BTerral Smart EFT and BTerral Smart Billable Expenses, and we'll introduce you to our product support leadership team and then answer any questions that you have on BTerral's Sage Intacct Marketplace partner products. I'd like to pause to catch my breath for one thing, but also to catch up on any questions that might have been collected by Pradeep in the background.
Thank you, Brian. There are questions. Number one, can I find out if BTrell Smart EFT works with my bank?
The best thing that you can do to ensure that BTerral Smart EFT works with your financial institution is to contact that bank or put us in contact with that bank, and we'll ask them for their specification file. Every bank publishes a format requirement for communicating financial payment transactions to that bank. Once we obtain their particular specs, we can use that to adapt our program to the exact requirements, test it with your financial institution, and then deliver that capability. As I mentioned moments ago, we've never failed at being able to support a bank. And as long as that bank can publish that specification file, we can meet it. And so I just ask for you to start that conversation with your financial institution, obtain their spec, show that to us, and we'll confirm that we can support it.
Thank you, Brian. There is another question. Does BTrell Smart EFT change the way I reconcile my bank account?
One of the things that we're very proud of with Sage Intacct Marketplace partner products that we create is that we don't change your user experience and we don't interrupt any of the existing functionality. So BTerral Smart EFT, once a payment transaction is posted through BTerral Smart EFT, the rest of the process is exactly the same, including the reconciliation of your bank accounts. So you'll be able then to see that transaction in your bank reconciliation module, and you can wait until the bank confirms that that transaction settled before you finish the posting, so that if you don't want to have unsettled transactions existing in your bank reconciliation module, you can delay that, but you can also add those and they just become outstanding transactions. But there'll be no change to your bank reconciliation process if you use BTerral Smart EFT.
Perfect. There's a last question. Does BTrell Smart Billable Expenses support all dimensions?
Oh, yes. Once again, we're proud of the fact that we're not taking away any of the existing Sage Intacct functionality that we know you based a lot of the decision to implement that product with BAS on, and that includes full support for dimensions. As long as the entry form exposes a dimension for use, in that transaction, then the billable expenses will support it as well. So we can allow you to take full advantage of your investment in Sage Intacct and support all dimensions with BTerral Smart Billable Expenses.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you everyone for joining us today.